Hi, I'm Lime, and the following video contains homonegativity so bad that there's a lawsuit for crimes against humanity against the pastor teaching it. Here are my reactions to Scott Lively, Uganda Anti-Homosexuality Conference 2009.
If you deny and reject the design of your own body, and you engage in conduct that is self-evidently wrong and harmful to you, then you're going to receive in your body the penalty of your error, which is appropriate. Can anyone say AIDS? And the same thing with the other. Stephen talked about a lesbian who just recently died of throat cancer, right? And lesbianism involves a lot of oral sex. And oral sex, putting your face in places that doesn't belong, you can pick up disease, all kinds of things can go wrong with you.
Yeah, isn't it weird how it's a penalty of a behavior when it happens to gays, but not when the same thing happens to people following your beliefs?
I've never known, personally, I've never known a lesbian that wasn't sexually molested when they were a child.
I have never met a homophobic pastor that I didn't immediately call a fag. So hate must be one.
I think I mentioned this before. Lesbianism is really more than anything else a retreat from the company of men. It's an escape from men because sexual abuse by men. Even the first evidence of lesbianism in the historical record, the island of Lesbos. Why did they go to an island? They wanted to be alone. Leave us alone, right? They went off to the island to be secluded so they didn't have to be with men.
Wow, this guy has got talent. I think very few people are able to actually convince themselves that this nonsense is true. So, in my opinion, this is a craft. This is art. There is no topping this.
The Big Bang, right? The Big Bang is the beginning. Well, where did that come from, right? Oh, that was aliens. Aliens came from another universe and seeded this universe. Well, where did they come from, right? See, there's no beginning. There's no ultimate presupposition.
I was wrong. He could top it.
Now that's one of the reasons why there's such enormously high levels of alcoholism and drug addiction in the gay community. They're drowning out the fact that they are really, truly, it isn't gay, it's miserable for many of them. Now some of them they're perfectly happy, but many of them are not.
Yeah, I wonder why that is.
For these sins, including homosexuality, adultery, a couple other sexually sins primarily, for these sins, the land will actually vomit out its inhabitants. So every time you see homosexuality addressed in Scripture, you're either dealing with individual or social disaster. Now, is it possible for some children to be raised by homosexuals and not be damaged beyond control? Yeah, maybe it's possible. But is it likely? In that society, there's things that they're like diseases that are harmful. Alcoholism, drug addiction, homosexuality, gambling, prostitution.
So you and other people like you have tried comparing their sexuality with a disease and talked about it in the context of disasters and damage to children, and you're telling me none of this has made them feel better? Well, then I guess there is no pleasing some people.
I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea when I'm putting these down. I don't want to dehumanize these people. They are human beings suffering with extreme forms of dysfunction.
Let's take a look at what he says about what he calls different types of homosexual dysfunction.
That the butches, these are really bullies. When you want to think about who is the homosexual man who is going to the masculine side, what is he like? He's a bully. The super machos are very often brutish, animalistic men that want to hurt other people. There's no mercy. Super machos, men having sex with boys and other men, usually in some sort of aggressive way. And motorcycle gangs, prisons, military units, you find them a lot in there. And then lastly, you have what I call the monsters. They're killers. They're serial killers, mass murderers. They're sociopaths, right? There's no mercy at all. There's no nurturing. There's no caring about anybody else. This is the kind of person that it takes to run a gas chamber.
Well then, if you don't want to dehumanize us, then don't dehumanize us!